Hey YouTube, it's Chuck. Well, we might be getting a new version in the next few days if what Elon projected with 10.69.2 coming out at the end of the week. Today is Thursday. It's 8 a.m. I am still on version 10.69.1.1. That's build 2022.20.11. And I'm going to be doing some traveling this weekend, and I have not yet done an unprotected left turn video on .1.1, so I figured I would do that here in the morning rush hour traffic here at 8:15 in the morning. We'll knock out a few turns and we'll see how it goes. That way we have a benchmark for the .2 release that we should get in the next few days. All right, here we go, and we got a train over there. Hey, nice. Needs to go out to the creep line. Got a nice small gap here on the left and a big gap on the right. Let's see if it goes for it. It needs to commit. There's a commit, and it should go all the way through into the left lane. Nice. That was a pretty good fit. It was a little bit slow on the initial, but then it kind of committed with enough speed to make it fit in between that car. So I was comfortable with it, but I guess there was a pause there that concerned me for a second, but it gave it the jerk acceleration it needed. Okay, let's knock out a few more, see how it goes. All right, here's round two. And for those wondering, I have not seen the ADAS drivers out here driving this week on my cameras. I haven't been home all week, so I haven't been like super duper watching it closely, but I have reviewed the camera footage and I haven't seen them. Now, there is a chance, okay, we got an oncoming car here with a very small gap. It should not go. Oh, it just started to nudge and then it stopped. And there's another slight nudge and then it stopped. So these little pauses in what I can see as no way gaps, it starts to go with the slow creep and then it waits. That's kind of indicative of its kind of range decision making. Now here's a decent sized gap on the left and on the right. So if it goes right now and goes all the way through without a pause, that was a nice job. So that turn was pretty insightful to me because I was able to see the gaps that I thought it was going to go for. And it started with a slow creep and then it waited. So that little slow start to roll was almost like I think it's clear. And then in that second that it took, or half a second that it took to slowly creep forward, the situation changed and it waited again. So I guess it could find itself in a situation of nudging itself forward that 2 or 3 inches several times and continuing to wait for the larger gap. That was interesting. All right, here we go, round 3. I keep pivoting this screen so you can kind of see the visibility and the creep angle the best. Okay, it needs to wait. It needs to wait. Oh gosh, it nudged out a little further than I was thinking it was going to stop. Okay, it needs to go. It needs to go. It needs to go. Do not wait. Okay, I had to intervene there because of its hesitancy due to that car coming into the median and the speed of the oncoming traffic. It was just not committing enough, and I think it lost its commit speed due to the encroaching car that came into the median while I was in the middle of the lane of traffic, and the situation was developing very, very fast. With this high-speed traffic, you just can't let these scenarios play out that extra half a second that you might want to see how it does. If it doesn't give a commit speed that I feel is warranted, I'm going to pretty much take over every time. All right, here we go again. Let's see if we get anything different. That last one was interesting. All right, there we go. That's a nice, comfortable spot. I like that. I have to lean forward for my full visibility. When I lean back, it's just, I mean, it's seeing plenty of traffic, but in this spot, and I do have a car behind me, my best visibility is by leaning all the way over the steering wheel. Adequate visibility that the B-pillar has does provide enough visibility to see that there's a lot of traffic. And now we've got a truck intervening, not intervening, but that has the right-of-way in the median. And a nice representation of where it puts the median and where that truck is. That's good. A little bit of shadowing there on the other side of it. This is a good scenario. We got lots. Now we have a small gap. It'll be interesting to see if it rolls it with the truck here. It should go right now if it wants to. It needs to go. It needs to commit. It couldn't. It needed to commit before it did for this traffic here in order for that to be successful. So unfortunately I can't just reverse and start over due to the car behind me. But for that one to have worked, when the car was rolling in, the truck was rolling in from the median, it needed to do the pre-roll and roll in parallel with it, but it didn't. And then when the truck was abeam us is when it started to creep out, but that oncoming traffic was no longer visible, and it kind of proceeded with a slow creep. Had it gone really aggressively, I might have let it try it, but it was just kind of nudging itself out there, and with the speed of this traffic, it wasn't comfortable. All right. Gosh, every one of these scenarios this morning has been so dynamic. It's really, really good. I don't really feel it's any sort of regression on the failures that it's had today. I think these are all just so unique, and the scenarios posed are so dynamic that, you know, it's still using the creep wall. It's still using the median behavior. It's just the decisions it has to make to fit in these gaps, and the commitment speed it has to use to force itself into the gaps is just still constantly a little bit shy. Here's going to be an easy one for it. Last car, easy gap, nothing from the right. It's going to do it just fine. Yeah, so when I am allowed to let it go with the acceleration speed it wants to use, it is very reliable right now with the creep wall and with the median behavior. It feels like every time I'm having to disengage is the speed it uses to enter gaps that are very, very small and are closing quickly, and perhaps closing faster than the cameras can see. So that's how it feels at the moment anyway. All right, got a lead car doing a right turn again. This is kind of good to get to see the lighting on the back. He's got a blinker indicated on the screen, but he does not have his blinker on in the car. So that kind of implies that the neural networks doing blinkers are making some assumptions there, or it's kind of guessing occasionally, because it's definitely flashing a blinker on him a little bit, and he does not have one on. But it's obvious to me, and probably to the algorithm, that he is turning to the right. It looks like we have some slowing traffic for a light up ahead. You can just kind of tell by the speed of these cars. So this will be an interesting one, how it develops based on when that truck goes. If that truck squeezes into the right lane, we may be posed with trying to cross stopped traffic. Looks like the traffic's going again. Even though we didn't get to try it, you know, you could talk about these scenarios as they kind of develop, and to try to think about what the car would do. You know, from this distance, you know, you can see that the median network is doing a lot of jumping around, projecting, unprojecting, short, long, long, short. So it's definitely a little bit of fuzzy math going on there. Okay, very fast oncoming car. Oh gosh, and it stopped here. Okay, I have about a half a second, but it needs to go right now. Oh gosh. I disengaged with the way it went directly towards that car. It was inside of my tolerance. In a pure robotaxi world, was the computer calculating that it was going to have the perfect trajectory? Maybe. But it hasn't earned my trust yet to do that. It had a significant vector going into the median that may have passed behind that car, but all I saw was a screen full of car that I needed to wait on, and I wasn't willing to risk the math that it was using. Wow, gosh, I can't wait to see that one from overhead. That'll be an interesting one in the comments. I hope one day I'm comfortable enough to trust the acceleration and the trajectories it's using to allow turns like that to work, but not yet. Or maybe I should say, not today. Wow, what an exciting set of scenarios we've seen today. Okay, here we go again. Oh, gimme. Look at that. Oh, wait, this one. We finally got to wait from the right. So it should use its median logic and wait in the median here. Okay, is it feels like it's sticking out a little bit still. It can't go from the right. And this is a scenario where I'm going to see if it's going to creep up a little bit. I am sticking out a smidge. And is this truck going to go around me? Gosh. Woo! He didn't go around me much. I felt like I was sticking out. I didn't move it. The screen showed me over the line a little bit. That truck that passed behind me, he didn't swerve much. So let's see from the overhead view how much room I actually had there versus how much he gave me. Wow, what a day. All right, let's try it again. We do have a car in the opposing median this time. Kind of see where he is in the blue line. He's got a nice angle in. Okay, I need to wait right about there. Okay, it's wide open to the left. He's going. Now the car's proceeding, and it's going to need to wait in the median. Okay, it's fitting itself in the median much better this time. That feels about a foot and a half further forward, and now it's open and it should go. Okay, so that was a good use of the median without sticking the tail of the car in the opposing lane and fitting in there at the right angle. A nice 2 or 3 second wait for the lanes to clear, and then proceed into the traffic with a nice pose angle to accelerate into the traffic. So that one went really well. We did get to see that time when the car was coming in, it waited until that car was clear before it proceeded, unlike that previous one where it proceeded with the truck that blocked its view. Okay, I know a few of you like me to do some unprotected left-hand turns that are a little bit different. So I'll try to throw a few here on at the end. This one has that sharp angle to the left where the creep line jumps around a lot more, much more. Okay, it's wide open for the left and the right. So it did that. It didn't have any traffic to deal with. That was just purely a lateral trajectory type of maneuver. So that was really, really good. Well, it was good because it was easy. This one is always interesting because the creep line moves around a little bit, because the geometry of the curve doesn't give a straight line for the creep wall to align with. Okay, this one has a little bit different geometry where it's got a crepe myrtle here, a bush that kind of blocks the view back here at the stop line. Very obviously it needs to creep a long ways forward. And okay, it very quickly stopped when it saw the oncoming traffic. Now its view is not near good enough, and you can see from the creep wall it can go much further forward. Now I would be going right now. It needs to commit. It needs to commit. You gotta go. Okay. I had to take over on that one. It just wasn't committing after it started walking out into the traffic. So some of these high-speed distance measurements aren't giving me, as the safety driver, the confidence that it knows the size of the gap and the speed it needs to use to commit to the median for the first part of the maneuver. So I think I'm going to end it there, just because that's about the length of the videos most of you guys decide to watch. Some of you watch all of them. For those of you that watch the full length, I appreciate that. But in any case, this is a very interesting type of maneuver because it provides so many different variables on every single turn that you just get to think about and to try to guess, and that's what we're doing, what the car is doing and predicting. But there are definitely some scenarios in high-speed traffic that you just can't be hesitant in order to allow the buffers that I'm willing to tolerate as a safety driver with my vehicle. So that's kind of the way it is. I don't know whether all of these can be solved with the current hardware or not, based on its processing speed and its resolution of the cameras and the camera locations. If it can, I'll be very excited. If it can't, then let's fix it. And I look forward to testing those improvements. Anyway, I'll render this video up for you guys today. Let me know what you think, and have a great day.